program with stories trending on our website and also other national dailies this morning. My name is Chidimma Oranwan. Seated with me this morning
is Ajuluchukwu Okabwe, Ndianambra. Good morning.
Ajula, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine.
How was your night?
Very peaceful and smooth.
Okay. All right. Quickly, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll go straight and, bring your way all the stories we have on the tabloids today and also ABS website. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to the show. We are going to start with the stories we have on ABS website this morning. I know you'll be waiting for us to introduce our guests, but we'll be doing it alone this morning, me and my colleague, Ajuluchukwu Okabwe. So let's start with the stories trending on ABS website this morning. The very first story we have is Anambra State Government sets up committee of inquiry to investigate Miss Olma JAMB score controversy. Anambra State Government reassures women PGs of collaboration in community development. Flood wreaks havoc at Old Afo Market, Umunya, Oyi Council area. Nnewi Anglican Diocese backs Anambra State Government on inquiry into Miss Olma AG Keme JAMB score controversy. Okay, these are the stories we have on our website this morning. We have two stories talking about Miss Olma AG Keme and the controversy with JAMB. Of course, we know how it all started, but I just pray that we just do the investigation and know how all these things happen and know whether Miss Olma is actually the culprit or someone is even using her to cash out. We discussed that earlier, I think on Tuesday when the whole saga, broke, yes. And we just pray that after investigation, we'll get to know the person involved in this whole menace.
Even at that, before we get to know the nitty-gritty of this issue, I think putting JAMB on a spotlight not too good, is something we really need to talk about, because this is an institution of education in Nigeria.
Sure.
So when you begin to have issues of trust, you understand, with this kind of institution, it begins to tell on even the psychic of children writing JAMB. Imagine somebody writes JAMB and then the parent comes and tells you, you wrote JAMB and you failed. You say, I didn't fail. You understand? This is what JAMB gave me. A child can come up and then tell you categorically that this is what JAMB gave me. I
read a write-up from the former aviation minister talking about Chidoka.
Yeah.
Ms. Omar wrote the JAMB in his center located at Obusi. But he's saying that what the result Ms. Omar was actually, when you saw the video that went viral on the social media, when Ms. Omar was saying that this was actually her printout. So the former minister was saying actually that the name of the center has already been changed to Ikeme Funa, something like that. Yes, that is no longer Thomas Chidoka Center. But from what Ms. Omar was showing, it was still reading Thomas Chidoka. So he was saying that, when he saw that, because they changed that in 2021, and now we are in 2023. So something is actually
wrong. And then there's no way you can exonerate JAMB from this whole saga. Ms. Omar has something to prove. JAMB came up and then without much investigation was telling us that the result this young girl is parading is fictitious. You understand? So it is left for you to go down to your portal, use the QR code, and then get to see and own up to your own inadequacies. Yeah. You understand? Because systems are built by man and they can be subject to some form of error when used. You understand? So there's no big deal in JAMB having a thorough investigation and then coming to tell Nigerians so that they can retain that credibility that is gradually eroding in the minds of
because
Nigerians.
A lot of people have come up to say a whole lot of things
Exactly.
about JAM, how they were treated when they wrote theirs, how some people will tell you that they start for the exam, at the end of the day they were telling them that they didn't have results, and so many of them. So I think with this particular issue, JAM needs to go in and look into their system and see if there is anything that they need to upgrade. Or anything they need
or
to
even
handle,
scrap
or to know if there are people
system.
that are sabotaging them.
Yeah, of course. So these are the areas where we begin to ask. If you find out that what you're doing is not yielding the desired result, then you look for a way around it. I remember when we wrote JAM, there was no computer base. It was based on we are growing now. We are growing, and we are growing.
You wouldn't expect us to say that we are going to scrap the computer based test. No, but we need to start fine tuning it so we get to where we want to be.
But that gives room for manipulation.
I know, but then we cannot rule it out entirely. We can't rule it out entirely. This is 21st century, my dear. We can't rule it out entirely.
If we can go about doing it better, you understand, the way we used to do it, without all this issue of putting JAM in an unfriendly spotlight.
We need to be moving forward, not backward, please. We need to be moving forward. Okay, and we have another story there talking about Anambra State government reassuring women PGs of collaboration in community development. Yeah, I mean, this is a right step in the right direction. Because I know women, it's don't look at me that way. Women, when we embark on, some projects, we do it passionately, and we do it excellently. And if the state government is going to collaborate with women PGs in different communities, that would be a very good thing to do, because it will aid immense development in our different communities. I'm not saying that men, they are not doing their bits, because they are the major PGs, but we have the women wing, and they complement the effort of the men. So I think if they come together and collaborate with the state government, it's a plus for different communities.
And of course, the female folks too will definitely want to outdo what they meant, so that's to make it, to rubber stamp it, you understand? Okay. So I don't think this is more like a challenge to the guys, you understand, out there, as in PGs, male PGs. If women want to prove to you guys that they can do it better, because we all believe that for a family to function properly, a woman has to be in the center.
Sure.
You understand, making things work. So if you take that from the family sector down to the society, you definitely know that there are important roles women need to play. So in politics, you understand, which is management of resources, commonwealth, you understand, if you place it in the hands of people that are believed to be good at managing homes, I think it will go a long way in having a better society.
Exactly. All right, quickly, let's go over to our first paper this morning. That's the Daily Sun newspaper.
The first paper for review this morning, the Daily Sun, and the banner headline there is talking about fireworks in Senate, and the writer there says rumbles as Akpabio stops Ndume motion on skewed disbursement of 500 billion funds. Tinubu meets Adamu Omishore. And there we still have polls. Tinubu APC close in Obi. Atiku PDP petitions. Petitioners grill Senate majority leader on 25% vote in FCT and others. And then we still have here down there UTME results. Reps urge JAM to stay punitive action against Ejike, just like we saw. And then we also have here subsidy, NNPC to reconcile 2.1 trillion deduction with FAAC. Harsh economy, man raises the alarm. Once more manufacturers may leave Nigeria. Blood flows in police Ebubago gun battle in Imo. Terrorism, trial of Ezendibo of Ajao Estate, Lagos resumes on July 25. And then UTME FLNG team meets Tinubu on new gas plant. Wow, a lot there to talk about.
Yeah, really, we have a lot in the front page of the Daily Sun this morning. And just to let you know that you can also call in if you want to chip in or you want to say anything about any of the topics or any of the story that we have read out on different tabloids this morning. The numbers for you to call is displayed in front of your television set this morning. Okay, so we have a whole lot of
to delve into here.
Yes, here in the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper?
I think the one that readily captures me, anything that has to do with the economy of this country.
Yes,
is
the
of,
one talking about man and the many manufacturers leaving the country.
Leaving the country. And then when you begin to talk about manufacturers leaving the country on different reasons.
And it's bad enough that we don't even have major, like many manufacturers in Nigeria. And then you're talking about
the few ones
leaving the country.
Leaving the
so
country.
What then are we talking about?
Then how then do you resuscitate, or will I say manage the economy by job creation when the people that are meant to massively employ people in one soup are leaving? You understand? Ghana are getting their economy better, and people are looking out to go there and site their companies.
Exactly.
I think these are the things that this government needs to actually look into.
I think it will be better if you want to understand that story, for you to go and read the second, page 2, right, of the Sun newspaper, because I know they will also list some of the reasons why these people want to leave. Of course, the major one will be power.
Power
yes,
and
then we talk about multiple taxation and all that. So,
and insecurity.
So I know there are a whole lot why these manufacturers will want to leave the country. But then again, it behoves on our leadership, the leadership of this nation, to do what they ought to do, or what they need to do, so that we can even attract more manufacturers, more investors in our country.
Quickly, let's see what we have next in our paper for review this morning.
Okay, that's the Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper is next this morning. The big story there, banner headline on the front page of Punch is Flood Alert. State orders evacuation of federal government issues disaster warning. Okay, state order evacuation as federal government issues disaster warning. NEMA warns of massive flood in Kano, Delta, Kebbi, Plateau, and 10 others. Akwa Ibom, Delta, other residents demand alternative shelters. And then we still have up there, principal officers, National Assembly Crisis Pleads APC National Working Committee at Damumit Tinubu. Telcom's investment hit $75 billion. 5G subscription now 60,000. NCC. Tinubu not indicted over forfeited $460,000. Bamidele tells tribunal. Then we still have UTM forgery responder probe fraudulent app developer risk dismissal. Lagos Killer Corps dismissed for shooting generator repairer dead. Wow. Nigeria exports 23 billion naira electricity. Local consumer lament outage. Wow. So we actually export electricity, and yet we are in darkness.
We are in darkness. That's the big brother effect of Africa, as in Nigeria is having on Africa. Because
so I know the one in Bonase or Malumanese.
No, Malumanese. But actually, the one I know of, I can speak authoritatively on, is that of the Niger Republic, because I remember then I asked this question, as in, why do we give these guys light and then we don't have light? They said it was a pact, because Niger wanted to build a dam, and then the Nigerian government felt there was so much money that if they built their own dam, if Niger should build a dam, it will stop the flow of the Futajalon water that made up River Niger here. So that river won't exist here. That rather let Nigeria build the dam here and then send a certain fixed megawatts for Niger. So that is a pact, and a deal is a deal. So irrespective of what Nigeria generates, that pact must be honored. You understand? So that is what we are talking about here. You understand? So it's for us to boost our own capacity, or even diversify into other energy sources. But subsequent governments have not seen it as a mandate or a necessity to know, or rather to invest massively and make money. Energy is something that everybody needs in order to function, be it at home, hospitals, even in this studio here. We all need power to function. But if a government that is really what its onions comes in and says, okay, fine, this is what we want to do because it's really challenging on the economy and the development of this country, don't you think we need to improve on this and probably generate more?
Exactly.
If countries like South Africa could be having storage capacity that is reserve of over 15,000 megawatts, and Nigeria is not even up to that, you begin to wonder. So this is no longer rocket science. Algeria, in this area of energy, is the #1, is leading the course in solar energy generation in Africa.
We can actually achieve that if we want to, right?
Yeah, we can. Look at the arid part of the north. There are places that are desolate. Nobody are living there. Why not set up solar panels over there? And know that with solar, you're taking a major part of the northern grid, supplying them. Then you have wind in the south. You can set up all these wind farms, windmill farms, and then generate for that area. Then you have what is it called, the thermal in, I think in Osun State. You understand that kind of a thing? So these areas, coal in Enugu, Las Vegas as we know it, Nevada, still survives on coal generation. You understand? Even though it's about 2% to the total consumption of America. So we just need to explore them. We just need to explore them. But we are here working only on hydro when we have gas.
Just like we are depending so much on oil, when we have all that natural resources.
So, and these are areas whereby if the government should explore, job creation would definitely boost the economy of this country.
Exactly. The big story in the front page of Punch is actually talking about, state ordering evacuation, and also as federal government issues disaster warning. We are still talking about flood. Now, remember that we mentioned it yesterday on Fresh Review. We are talking about why should we be, going through this process every year? Why can't we have a permanent solution to this menace? Because a lot of people are suffering. They are losing their properties every year. Okay, now it has already started because people at Omonia, they are crying. The market, at Omonia, it was submerged by flood. Rain hasn't started yet, and we are talking about submerging of houses and stores and all that. So why do we keep going through this process of equation and all that? Why can't we find permanent solution? Why can't we dredge some of the rivers that we have in our country to see and channel this water so that they will be going straight to the rivers?
Well, if you ask me that question, I think most times the people we have in governance, you understand, are not prepared for the saddle or rather to be saddled with the responsibility of the masses. Because if you want to definitely get into governance, you should know critical areas where it affects people. You understand? And you know that Anambra is like a basin. You understand? I'm talking for Anambra for now. And the Niger Delta axis where Anambra is almost located in. So every government, a right-thinking government should know that all these monies that we vote out to relocate these people, if we channel it into creating a lasting solution, even though it might not be immediate, but it could be something that you'll be doing termly, you understand, bit by bit, then at the end of it all, people will understand that they are being carried along. There's a total disconnect between the governed and the governing council in this part of the world. And this is one of it all. Every year we do have this issue. I remember the one that happened in 2012. It still re-echoes in my mind because I happened to have traveled from Onitsha to Kaduna during that period. Okay. I saw devastation. In fact, that was when I got to realize that if indeed water will definitely find its way. Anything that you put in the path of water, it must look for a way to pass. And our government
it's true. I remember it gets a heavy blow on a lot of people.
Exactly.
The one that even broke my heart that year was in Port Harcourt. A man was walking through the water. He was with a machete, He didn't even know that it was the sun that was clicking to it. He just used the machete to,
thinking it probably was a reptile or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean,
so it's so pathetic, you understand?
The federal government, state government to try as much as possible to see how we can end this. Let's not go through this process annually because we know that rain will always come every year.
Now, this is even the irony of it all. This is rain, something that is definitely going to occur. Imagine if we were in the tectonic belt of where earthquake, typhoon, and the rest of it.
I don't even want to think about that. We are blessed actually in this country.
So we are blessed and we are not exactly.
It doesn't even come to us.
You understand?
We are really blessed. So this particular one, we just need to handle it.
We just need to handle it because this is the easiest of them all.
Oh, the next paper is the National Light newspaper. So quickly, let's see what we have there.
Let's go over to the National Light newspaper. Well, and then the banner headline there is saying Anambra sets up committee to probe Mesoma's jam saga, score saga. Pandemonium in Enugu, Imo, Ebonyi following gunmen attacks. And then we have internet subscription fall to 221 million in Nigeria. Over 10 died, scores injured in mysterious Kanu fires. Floods overwhelm Katsina, kill 10. Over 20 million Nigerians suffering mental illness. Nigeria launches Cancer Institute. And then Anambra intensifies war against child labor. That's a good one. And then Anambra Hospital is improving every day, coming from the Health Commissioner. And last but not the least, 14 states, 31 communities face imminent flooding. That's coming from NEMA. And then there's a cartoon there. Let me see if I can zoom and get that. Charge these guns, sir. I am tired of constant accidental discharge. Well, that's a funny one there coming from the light stroke on the cartoon segment there. Quickly, I think the one that really catches my fancy here that I would want us to talk about is this over 20 million Nigerians suffering mental illness.
But it's true. A lot of people are going through.
How did they come about that statistics as in that figure?
Okay, maybe we'll go as a psychiatrist that we have in the country, but it's true.
20 million is a lot.
It's a lot, but you might you might not know you're suffering from one until you go for a diagnosis.
Evaluation.
No, that's the truth, because once we say that someone is having a mental illness, we think the person has gone gaga, like the person is really mad. But we know we have a whole lot of illness that is associated with mental. We have bipolar disorder. We have a whole lot of them. But the truth is that some people, they shy away from this. They don't even want. When you tell this person, won't you go and get examined? They will tell you, no, I'm not mad, I'm okay. And some people will just, I'm not saying, we are very religious in this country.
Yeah,
then some people, when they start having issues, some people start having nightmares and all that, you see them rushing to one prophetess or evangelist or church or the other, seeking for help. And sometimes, most times actually, they don't really find solutions there. You see someone, they'll be undergoing deliverance upon deliverance, and yet what is happening is still happening. I happened to watch a clip from one of these actresses that is suffering from bipolar disorder. I think her name is Chacha Eke. Okay. She made a whole lot of points because she has been through hell. She said if she had spent the time, or she spent going to churches seeking for help, and like if she has spent half of that time going to hospital for help, she wouldn't have been where she is today.
Wow.
I mean, she would, because she has embarrassed herself. There was a time people saw her going on the streets barefooted, left the house. The husband didn't even know that she left the house. So there is a whole lot of people that are suffering from mental illness, but they don't know how to go about it.
Or maybe the stigma or the victimization or the fact that
maybe it could be a point.
You have a record with a psychiatric. You understand?
Could be a point too.
Say,
but then it's nothing to be afraid or shy of. I mean, you don't need to fear, because you didn't bring it upon yourself. You didn't sign up that you have a particular ailment or the other. If you are sick now, people will come to you, people will even visit you in the hospital, and some will bring fruit for you, some will even give you money to go and check yourself. So if you have something here, I mean, if you're not okay here, there is something wrong with you, you need to visit a psychiatrist.
Well, I can even say that with the present situation of things in this country, it's enough to get people, you understand, needing psychiatric evaluation. Nothing seems to be in the grasp of an average Nigerian. You understand? Everything seems to be skyrocketing. The only thing that seems to be stagnant or probably maybe retarding is salary. That's the income. Every other thing is on the high side. So whatever evaluation that they concluded or they came at to have arrived at 20 million, well, we definitely have to see.
And also, I want to commend the Anambra State government, especially the governor's wife and also the Commissioner for Women and Children in Anambra State. They are doing a whole lot to see that they end the war against child labor. Yeah, we've seen them doing a whole lot, wading in where people are maltreating children and, asking them to hawk on the street and all that. We give them kudos.
Denying them the basics in life.
And we pray that they will continue. The good Lord will bless them immensely. So quickly, let's see the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Downturn shrinks aviation as carriers' air traffic declines. That's a big story there. And then we didn't need parties' input for our nomination. Senate Minority Caucus. Rivers APC to Wike. You can't take our ministerial slot. IGP orders deployment of 35 CPs, charge them on safety of citizens. Mr. Omar Reps asks JAMB to stay punitive action probe results. NEMA alerts on flooding in 14 states and 31 communities. Commotion at Senate over disbursement of 500 billion naira loan to SMEs. Ndume peaked North got only 11%, while Lagos got 47%. And then you can still see up there, telecoms investment in Nigeria now $75.6 billion. Dambata reveals, says sector added 110.126 trillion naira to GDP in 2022. Obi Labour Party petition, Tinubu calls a one witness, closes defense and tenders 18 documents. Okay, that's what we have on the front page of the Daily Independent this morning.
And sometimes the issue here is Rivers APC to Wiki. You can't take our ministerial slot. And I still come back to tell you that most times our Nigerian politicians and leaders are too selfish to begin to think about what the general, the masses need to get. I don't know what it is that these people are talking about here. Shouldn't it be the case of someone that has a capacity to actually be nominated as a minister to perform the duties assigned him or her? And people are talking about taking a slot, you understand, for a particular party. And then things like this shouldn't be making the headlines on dailies for people to see, because it further degrades and it further diminishes the importance of governance in this part of the world. You understand? There are certain things that we should be looking over. A party, no doubt, you get into governance through party, you understand? But that shouldn't be the limit to which you should serve your mother nation. So that nationalistic idea of how to make this country work. Should be top
priority.
You understand? Yeah? That should be it. Not somebody calling to tell me that, okay, this cake is ours and it should be for us and then nobody else. I don't really buy to this. And I keep making it, I'm not a politician anyway, but then when you look around you, you begin to wonder, when will we get it right? You understand? Bearing in mind where we're coming from and where we are, then that makes the journey a lot difficult. The other day on TV, we were talking about the restoration of hope in this country, based on the new chief of the military security chief and everything we have here. Because 20 years ago, there are things that nobody in Nigeria ever dreamt of witnessing that is now an everyday norm today. 20 years ago.
Still talking about politics, look at the other story. They're talking about commotion at Senate over the disbursement of 500 billion naira loan to SMEs. I mean, that's very funny. Why would we have commotion? I think before we even think of, sharing this loan, you should have modalities, how you are going to
who qualifies,
to,
you understand?
To different states or depending on senatorial zones. I don't know how they decided to share it, but not coming and telling us that there is a commission. Don't you have blueprint? Didn't you even plan for it in the first place? Or you just brought out the loan and decided to give Lagos 47%? Because from what Ndume is saying, he said that the North got only 11%.
You're talking about North as in 19 states.
Yes, 11%. And then Lagos having 47%. We've not even talked about the Southeast. And the South.
So then you add these two together, you're having 58%.
58%. So remaining how many? Just 42%.
42%. And where does that 42% go when you still have other 4 regions? I mean, 3 regions too. So these are the areas where we talk about our politicians, as in having the human face, the consciousness of knowing that they are not serving their personal pocket, that they are serving Nigerians in general.
Yeah, we actually elected them to represent us. So they should represent us positively and see that our sufferings, I mean, it's brought down to the barest minimum. I remember that yesterday we were talking about the governor of, probe in the Ganduje.
Yes. The present governor of Kano.
Probing him to bring out the money. Yes,
1 billion.
You understand that, yes, he must bring the money. But just like our guest said yesterday, I mean, at this time, you just assumed it. The first thing you should do is not just to start pursuing this man or start probing. We are already in a deep mess as a nation. And so what every state government should be thinking of is how to reduce the suffering and the plight of the people they are governing right now. So that should be the top priority. And then you're still doing that work, but let it not be the major project.
That shouldn't be what should be catching the headlines. You understand? Be doing your job and everything like that.
So let's see what we have on the front page of this morning.
Yeah.
PDP leadership in disarray, fails to secure minority offices in National Assembly. G5 compromises party headship, steals the show. How other opposition parties sold out went for the money. after Buhari, Tinubu waits into NUPRC, NMDPR altercation over overlapping functions. Tinubu, Shetima, APC closed the fence in Obi Atiku's petitions. And then we still have them there. Okay, still talking about the JAMB result. Chidoka is urging Miss Omarada to come clean and explain how she got the fake result. Cracks widen in APC over their National Working Committee. Okay, wow. We have a whole lot in the front page
PDP
of this
leadership in disarray.
Disarray fails to secure minority office in the National Assembly.
If you have a broom, a brand new broom meant to sweep.
You mean the APC broom?
No, a brand new broom. I'm just using that as an illustration. And now every person begins to take a strand from the broom. And then they now say, okay, now based on where you're staying, sweep your place. That place, that building will never be clean. And that is what's happening in PDP here. Everybody seems to be having personal interest. Nobody is bringing their respective brooms together to form a bunch to get this whole thing this mess cleared up. So now, telling me that our other opposition parties sold out and went for money. You understand that kind of a thing? And this is what we keep talking about in this part of the world. Personal interest overriding serving the public. And that is what our politicians, until this narrative is changed, politics will always be a place whereby people go out there and there's a cashing out, the easiest way to cash out. And I don't know if it's going to be us that will be holding these people responsible. When we talk about, like in the other story, when we talk about 500 billion SME to be shared, somehow I believe that money should be posted, the sharing of that money should be on national dailies. This is not going to be a case of somebody applying for loan, you understand, to boost your business, and then you now go say, Father Lord, don't bless me. You go and use loan that you sought for to be buying personal things that is not even relating to business. But if you post these things and people get to know who and who are going to be beneficiaries of this loan, tomorrow when I know that this money comes out and I know that you're a beneficiary and I see they do something different from that, I can even be the one that will go and tell them and say, this guy collected this loan and he has not even invested a dime.
Well, it is like this.
So when you bring about transparency, do you understand that kind of a thing? It will now put the people, the recipients, and then the people that are disbursing it in check. Because you definitely understand that there is no way you can model this money. But when these things are being done in secrecy, this is not money you're going to collect from bank. This is money that is being disbursed. And
it's not a grant. Because it's a loan.
It's a loan.
And at the end of the day, how do we expect them to pay back?
To pay back when you're not there to monitor them.
People might pitch that they are into agro business, and at the end of the day, when you give them the loan, they will use it to go and buy a car. Then tomorrow, how do they pay back? Where do they generate the funds to pay back? And then then you start chasing them around. You understand that for them to pay back. So they need to work out, modalities on how to share this loans to SMEs so that at the end of the day, the aim for starting it in the first place will be achieved.
Still talking about this day. PDP, the head banner in disarray. Then the side page, the crack widens in APC over National Working Committee. Two major parties in the country in total disarray. And that is to tell you the nature of who we have as politicians running the affairs of this country. They can't put their acts, the political parties together. How then can they fix the problem of the masses, which is Nigeria? So this day is giving a little insight into what Nigerians are suffering. Because now APC is in disarray. PDP that is meant to checkmate the APC. Well,
I wouldn't blame the people that would say that they don't even subscribe to this political party of a thing again. Let's go for independent candidates. If anybody is worth voting for, you vote
for the person, irrespective of wherever the person is coming from.
Exactly. So let's see what we have in the nation.
Yeah, this tribunal and President / APC lawyers tender Labour Party membership register and closes defense. And then we have the Senate Minority Leader. We will build viral opposition. Our nominations in order. President meets Adamu Omishore. And Lagos records 111 defilement cases. Kwara returns to full working week. That's good. After
Okay.
how many days of 4 days working because of fuel subsidy and the rest of it all, and then, wow, this could intensify
efforts for
efforts for
electricity tariff hike approval.
Wow, 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 wow,
Okay.
wow.
I remember there was a time they talked about that the 1st of July that they
Yeah.
were going to increase it, that each unit will be sold for 100 naira. So if you're buying for like, if you use your, for example, 3,000 naira to buy a unit, you're getting only 30 units.
30
okay?
units.
As against 42 units, because I've added and done the calculations, so that you're getting. And so what happened to the 12 units extra? It's thrown away and it's gone. I mean, just like you said earlier, that everything is changing, but the income, the salary remains static. Nothing is happening to it. Now they are increasing the tariff, and it's not as if that some people even have the light.
Of course.
Some people, they can stay 2 days, 3 days, 1 week.
That's for the ones that have prepaid. What are the ones that are estimated bills?
Estimated bills.
So now probably the estimated bill, they slam you with, they stone at you. Maybe you pay 12,000 naira. And now with this tariff increment,
maybe 15
you'll be paying
or 18,000.
18,000 naira. And most times the generation of the power itself, you don't even get to use it. So these are the areas where we need to be looking at things, you understand? Even though there was even a period where NEPA came up and they were crying that there are certain institutions in Nigeria that are not paying. And their money is running into billions. Billions of naira. So the question that you come to ask, since NEPA electricity is on the, what is it called? Presidential portfolio of lists to do. Why not take it to the presidency? If the military says they don't want to pay, and the Air Force are not paying, which is still under the military, and some other establishment, like the stadium.
Yes.
I remember there was a tournament being held in Nigeria here where light went off in the middle of a game. And the reason NEPA cited was that you guys, they owe us. You understand? And they chose the best time, you understand, to demand for their money 40-something minutes into the match before halftime. And the light went out. You understand? So imagine if you don't have a standby generator. Then the whole world is watching, and then there's blackout. You understand? So these are the areas. If there is theft, electricity theft, NEPA should look for a way, you understand, to address the issue. If their establishment, government establishment, I'm sure that their money is voted for this electricity that you guys are making use of. So who is sitting on it, or what are they using the money for? This
particular case, the Senate and the House of Reps should talk about
exactly should talk because Nigeria should be common. Nigeria shouldn't be the ones suffering.
Biting hard on the common man in the streets, because a lot of people depend on this for their small businesses.
Well, exactly. Take the cheapest business you can think of now is pure water business. That's the
sachet water business. Yes.
Pure.
And for you to have a plant, you still need
to cool the drink. Yes? So now, the person that goes to buy block in order to chill his water, you understand? Will you now go to market tell that NEPA has increased tariff and you need to pay? And how much is the person making? So when you think of
how much is the fuel, even if they are going to use the generator?
So these are the areas where the government needs to come in.
Okay, we really don't have much time left. So let's see what we have in the remaining papers: The Guardian, Daily Trust, and Nigerian Tribune. Let's start with The Guardian. Trouble in health sector as drugs cost of care spike by 150%. And we're talking about removal of subsidy. I mean, health should be subsidized in this country. And then we still have down there, UTMFL-NG meets Tinubu on new gas plant, promises to crash prices, FX scarcity and Naira devaluation. Okay, that's the reason why we have trouble in health sector. Akpabio under pressure faces uproar over uneven distribution of 500 billion Naira loan to SMEs. Sports levy row over 150 million Naira monthly deduction from police salary. Then SGF governors, editors hail the flagship at 40. MVNOs get 1 year to roll out service as 5G reaches 60,000 Nigerians. Okay. Let's quickly see what we have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
The banner headline there on the Daily Trust is saying Tinubu meets Adamu Omishore, resolves rift over principal officers. And then the writer there says endorses Akpabio Abbas actions. Issue led to rest. It's a family affair, national chairman. President's men unhappy with chair. It's not about Adamu, but not. That's coming from ex-governors. And we have forgery. Mesoma makes U-turn, admits scoring 249 in JAM. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Furu persists in aviation agencies and new directorate. Subsidy removal, Kwara reverses to 5 working days. That's good. And then dismissal from APC, Goje appeals judgment, file stay of execution. And then what else again do we have here down? Telecoms investment in Nigeria hits 56.7 trillion. That's coming from Dambata. And dollar video. Forensic analysis has exposed Ganduji, anti-graft agency. Pregnant woman dies as doctors begin strike in Nasarawa.
All right, finally, we have the Nigerian Tribune. That's the last paper we have this morning. NAS principal officers, APC National Working Committee members fault Adamu. Tinubu meets National Chairman Secretary in Asovila. Presidential election, Tinubu Shetima tender Anambra Labour Party membership register and 17 other documents. And then we still have the Tinubu backs $5 billion floating LNG project implementation. 11 Ibadan high chiefs to be crowned Oba tomorrow. Telecoms investment in Nigeria now $76.6 billion. Dambata declares. Traders, passerbys camper for safety as gunmen attack market in Enugu. Plateau, Kano, Akwa Ibom, Delta, 10 other states to witness heavy rain. NEMA wants reps direct JAM to suspend punitive action against Mr. Moke. Makinde should stay off Afenifere matter. I have no quarrel with Fasoranti, says Adebanjo. Okay. Well, these and more are what we have in the front pages of the street papers that we just read out: The Guardian, Daily Trust, and Nigerian Tribune. And, you know, this is where we'll call it a day in the press review this morning. So if you want to have detailed information of all the headlines that we've read out this morning, just go out to any newspaper stand and pick up 1 or 2 copies of the national dailies this morning, read through and understand, and also get the detailed information from there. I want to say a very big thank you to you for joining us on Press Review this morning on ABS TV. My name is Chidimma Oranwa.
And I'm Ajuluchuku Okagwe saying thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.